Well, hey friends, I'm Mr. Tyler. Here's Jane. Say hi.
Hi.
We're really excited to be with you again. We're going to do some art today. So let's dive in. We are learning about Frida Kahlo this week. Do you remember where she was from?
Texas?
Mexico. I think you're thinking of who we did last time, right? Was that Remington?
Remington.
Yeah, we did Texas, but this time we're learning about Frida Kahlo. So she's from Mexico. You should have already had a PowerPoint and you did your learning packet, and that's really good. That's some good practice to get ready for the art today. So Frida lived in Mexico. She really loved her Mexican heritage, and so you can see that in a lot of her art. She really put herself into her art, things that she loved, things that she resonated with, and so sometimes she drew herself in some of her favorite outfits, like her wedding dress. She put the Mexican flag in a lot of her art. Today, we're going to do one of her favorite pieces of art was called Still Life, where she would look at either like a bowl of fruit or one of her pets, and she would draw that on the page here using a lot of bright colors. And so Still Life, so we're going to actually practice drawing her favorite pet, parrot. Do you remember her parrot's name? Bonito. Bonito.
Yeah, Bonito.
And what does Bonito mean?
Bonito means pretty.
Pretty, that's right. She called her parrot pretty. Bonito. So we're going to practice drawing Bonito today. That's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
So one thing that would be helpful to have is, this is page 1 of your worksheet, just a little practice here. And you practiced looking at the lines and you drew them. You tried to replicate them here. So we'll use this in a little bit. So here's what I would do. You should have a piece of colored paper, like yellow. We want it to be vertical, right?
Yeah.
All right, so put it right here. We're going to need a pencil to start with. And then some pastels or some colored pencils or crayons. So we have some pastels. Jane has some nice new pastels right here. I have a big jumbo bag of pastels, but they're so fun to draw with and they're so bright. So if you have these, that's great. But colored crayons or pencils, whatever you got. And then, and this, you might want to pause for this, but after we draw Bonito, we're going to fill out the page. Frida Kahlo loved to put leaves in the background of her drawing. And so we're going to draw the parrot on a branch with some nice leaves and texture. So here's what I did, Jane. I went outside and I found a bunch of leaves. I got little leaves and big leaves. And I don't know about you, but where I live in Morgan Hill, our yard is just covered in leaves right now.
Yeah.
We can't get rid of those leaves. Like we tried yesterday. We filled a whole garbage bin filled with leaves, and there's still more out there.
And
So
we had to jump in it.
We did have to jump in that thing. So, but this is a good reason to have some leaves, because I got some leaves and we can see, you can't see as well, but all the texture on my leaves here. I got some little tiny leaves and stuff. So we're going to use these in a little bit, Jane. But let's just put them out here. Yeah, those are like some bugs ate this one. That's cool. So a lot of different kind of leaves I got, orange and green and brown. And that's just for inspiration. So if you want to do that, push pause, go run out into your backyard, ask your parents if you can do that first, and then come back with some leaves just for inspiration. We'll use those in a little bit. But for now, let's jump into drawing Bonito. So we're going to start just one thing at a time, one part of the bird at a time. And if you remember back to your worksheet, you kind of did Bonito in parts. You drew his eye, then his beak, then his feathers. So we're going to work on that as well. And, try to use as much of the space as you can. So this is a pretty big piece of paper. So we can draw a pretty big bird right here. So maybe up near the top, almost in the middle, not quite in the middle. I'm going to draw just the eye. I'm going to draw a little dot for the eye and a circle around the dot. That's true. In your worksheet, there's no circle around the dot. I would draw a circle, though. I think it makes it look better. So I just kind of added a little circle there. You can see. So draw a dot with a circle and put it up kind of right there. All right, you got that? Oh, perfect. Okay. So now, and here's a trick. Jane, I want you to do this with yours. So start with, if you have this piece of paper printed out, start here, and your shirt says love. That's sweet. Okay, so here's the trick I want us to practice, so that we're drawing as much of the bird as we can onto our yellow paper. So take your worksheet, Jane, and the part that you're going to draw next is the beak. So let's just kind of trace the beak with your pencil on the white piece of paper. Okay. So that you kind of get it into your mind. How does that look? Okay. And then over here, try to replicate or draw that beak as best you can, kind of under the eye. So looks like that. A little triangle. And it's not in this page, but usually parrots have like a line in the middle of that triangle so that the beak can open, right? So you can draw that line if you want. So I just kind of went like that. Perfect. Okay, so now oh yeah, your beak looks more like our toucan. I like that. Okay, so yeah, all birds are different. If it doesn't look exactly like the one on your page, then yeah, you can use your imagination and think of a different kind of bird that it is. So next thing, back to your worksheet. Start at the top of the beak where the head starts, over on your worksheet with your pencil. Put your pencil right where the beak and the head meet. And then just trace that up and around, down to the feather, and then stop. You got that? So trace that, maybe even do that one more time. Trace it up and around, down to the feather. And then when you're ready, try to do that over here. Start at the top of that beak, up and around, down to where you think the feather's going to start. Nice. Okay. So now, let's see. What do you think would be next? Maybe the front part? So let's go to the bottom of the beak on your worksheet. Let's go to the bottom of your beak. Bottom of your beak, let's trace his body down. And then it goes down straight pretty far, and then it kind of curves under till it gets to the tail feathers, right? So it goes down, down, and then over, and then it stops. All right, so let's practice doing that over here. Bottom of the beak, I'm going to go down, and then over and stop right about there. So mine looks kind of like that. James. Ooh, James is very nice. Look at that. Okay. Okay, so how about we do the wing? Let's do the wing next. So back on your worksheet, how about we start where you ended the head last time, right? Yeah. And then just trace it all the way around. It goes up, it goes down, comes down to a point, and then it comes back up, back to where you started. This is a good trick for trying to draw what you're seeing back. You could also just trace it with your finger, but I think the pencil, it helps get it into your mind. How am I supposed to draw this? So let's try that again. Up and around, down to a point, back up.
It kind of looks like a leaf.
It does look like a leaf, you're right. Yeah, Bonito's wing looks like a leaf. And then we can draw the tail feathers, so not quite at the point, a little bit to the right of the point of your wing. Have your pencil, you draw down and around, and back up, and it connects back with the wing. And notice here, we already drew the body that ended right there, and we drew the wing, and so this tail feather goes down, and it touches where we ended the body, and then it ends at the wing. So try that. Great job. Okay. And, you know, we can actually, if you remember from the worksheet had more tail feathers than this, remember? I think in the worksheet, Benito had 3 tail feathers. So you could even kind of use that as a starting point, but then kind of turn it into 3, so smaller ones like this.
I don't want to.
You don't want to? You can have just one big tail feather too. Yep. So you can kind of, like I did, if you want, you can add a little more detail. Turn it into 3 tail feathers instead of just one big tail feather. But you can do whatever you want, really. So now,
looks more like a
good point. Okay, so now we want Benito sitting on a branch, right?
Yeah.
So off on the very edge of your paper, here's my bird. Off on the far edge of your paper, start the branch just like this. So you can even trace it. So it starts here, it ends at the tail feather, but then it starts up again under the body and it goes all the way edge. So from one end, and you see it kind of curves, right? Because most branches aren't just straight, they're kind of, so I'm going to draw a little curve. He's sitting on it, and so it goes up. Okay. And draw his little feet hanging out. Beautiful. Or should I say, bonito? Yeah? Get it? Okay. So, that's very nice. Okay, so hopefully you have something like this drawn. You can kind of see it. It looks like that, of course. So, now let's see. We want to draw some texture, some leaves on here. So we put some in all your space. I'm going to come up here really quick. So however big your bird is, so you notice I have some nice open space here, some open space here, some open space here. I'm going to try to draw some leaves coming off of this branch that kind of help fill out some of this space. So draw as many leaves as you want, and if you did go out and find some leaves, you can kind of copy these, Jade, if you want, or you can just draw whatever kind of leaves you like. I got a lot of leaves to choose from. That Jane drew a caterpillar on her branch. That is very creative. I think that's a smart thing to do. You're going to draw maybe some leaves up here and some other leaves up there. Okay, so yeah, fill in, take some time with your pencil. You don't have to put a lot of detail yet because we're going to do that next with the colored pencils or the pastels. But I'll just show you what I did. I put a bunch of leaves behind Benito. I put a different kind of leaf over here just for fun. And then I put some leaves underneath Benito. So, there you go. But you can do however you want. Take some time. And certainly if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video and keep working on that part. Nice. Jane drew a tree with, is that a bird nest?
Yeah.
Nice. I like that creativity. So now let's color. How about, Jane? Nice. Okay, so let's start coloring. Choose, what's the main color for your bird?
There's a lot of colors.
Yeah, do you think your bird?
Mostly green.
Mostly green, yeah.
The green is dark green is gonna.
So I would start with the body of the bird. Let's start with the body of the bird and kind of start by outlining your bird. And you can fill the bird in with some texture. What does that mean? Well, you can start, if you're using pastels or even crayons, one trick, if you have little broken pieces maybe like me, Jane's not going to do this with hers because hers are kind of brand new, but you can kind of use the side of your crayon or your pastel and make some texture here. So I'm trying to imagine that I'm putting feathers on my bird. What are feathers like? They're kind of swirly and soft.
It looks like it's fuzzy.
It does. Yours look very fuzzy and soft. And I think my bird wants a couple different color green. So I'm going to use some dark green and some light green and kind of mix them together.
That's how I draw grass.
Yeah.
Even soft though.
Nice. So color in his body, whatever color you want. Probably green. And then I want the wings and the tails to stand out. So my wing is still going to be green, but I'm going to try to do a kind of a different shade of green, I think. What do you think? Maybe a little lighter green with just a little bit of dark streaks, maybe. Some dark feathers in that wing, but mostly light so that it stands out from the body. And I think my bird has some really bright tail feathers. Ooh, Jane's doing a blue wing. Nice. What color tail feathers are you going to do? And don't forget to go back up and do the beak and the eye. And I'm going to put some orange feet on there. So keep working. I probably went a little fast, but there you can kind of see my bird filled in. It's very nice. So now we can take some time and put some texture on those leaves, fill in the color in your branch, right? So get some nice browns in there. Little brown branch. And if you got any leaves from your backyard, you can study the texture of those leaves. And I wonder, how could you make this texture on a leaf on your page? That would be tricky. Be pretty fun though. Fun to try. A good trick for texture is to use many different shades of the same color. So for my branch, I used light brown and dark brown, and I kind of streaked them together so that it adds some texture. Same thing with the bird. I put light green and dark green, and I kind of mixed them together so there was different texture. So the same thing with the leaves. You can kind of maybe go through. I'm gonna go through first and kind of draw the twig part. Like leaves usually have some lines going through the middle. So I'm gonna make those in brown, and maybe I'll branch them out. I'll make some brown texture lines there, or dark green, or whatever color leaves you have. And then I'll go back through with another color like green and fill it in a little bit more. But try to imagine putting some texture on your leaves. So Frida, like we said earlier, she liked to draw the things that she loved in her paintings. And so her favorite pet, she would use the things that she found out in nature. Sometimes she would get a bowl of fruit from her kitchen and she would draw her favorite food. And you could do that. You could keep doing this. Go find more leaves out in your backyard. If you have a pet or a favorite stuffed animal, you could try to draw that on your next painting. You can use maybe the tree in your backyard or the bush, and you can put your own life into a painting like this. So that would be really fun. So we practiced using Frida's favorite drawing of her bird. But yeah, you could practice that on your own. Oh yeah, you should totally do that. Use different colors. Practice. Here's a light brown, dark brown. This is like a burnt red, which is another good color for brown. Yeah, I got a lot of good browns in here. I would try that one. So I'm going to just finish coloring this leaf really quick. And then I'm going to come and show you what I have done. And you can keep taking as much time as you need. And then post it later. Share it with your class. I know everyone would love to see your still life. Very cool. Yeah, can I show them really quick? So let's show our friends. So here's what I did. I got creative and all my leaves are kind of different colors. I made a very colorful tail. You can be as creative as you want there. Here's James. This is really cool. Look at that. She was very creative. She drew a tree with a little squirrel hole. She drew a nest in there. And even a little caterpillar crawling into... Where's that caterpillar crawling into?
My lavender.
Oh, into a lavender leaf. That's right, because our lavender leaf has caterpillar holes on it, like it was eating it. And Jane, you said you're going to keep drawing. You can color in all the rest of your space. You can add clouds. You can add more leaves in the background. Some of Frida's, if you remember from the PowerPoint, hold on really quick. Oh yeah, you drew a little bird in the background.
Kind of looks like her eyebrows.
Oh yeah. So Frida liked to fill in all of her space with leaves, so you can do that. Jane said she was going to add some clouds to hers. So we're going to keep working on this. You're going to keep working on yours, and this has been really fun. I can't wait to do some more art with you all. Let's say goodbye to all of our friends.
Bye.
Bye.